Hey guys, welcome back. So a couple days ago I posted a video showing you an exclusive close-up look at the newest Regal Robot concept maquette replica of the Rancor, and I promised you I was going to make a part 2 which I would compare the maquette to the full-size replica. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to look at the concept maquette, let's look at the size differences, and it's kind of cool because you get to see kind of the Rancor from early conception to what the actual puppet looked like. So let's go take a look at them. Alright, so here are the two Regal Robot Rancors. We have the full-size replica, which is based off of the screen-used puppet, and the smaller concept maquette replica. Now, at first sight, most people would say, oh, you know, the maquette is just a smaller version of the bigger one, or vice versa, right? The big one is just a bigger version of the maquette. But in fact, these are two completely different replicas with different histories behind them. Let's talk about the maquette first. So Phil Tippett sculpted the original maquette, and George Lucas basically picked this maquette to be the final version of the Rancor that would be in the film. And in fact, they used the maquette for some of the stand-in shots to plan out some of the scenes. And as you could see, Regal Robot created an exact replica of that maquette by digitally scanning it. Another cool piece of Star Wars history is that Ralph McQuarrie started creating his concept art after this maquette was sculpted. And by the looks of it, he used Phil Tippett's maquette as reference for his concept art. And that's why this little maquette is so important to Star Wars history. And now we get to own one because of Regal Robot. So the next step was to bring the Rancor to life in the film. So they first decided to do a full-size costume, but as we know that failed, so Phil Tippett and the team decided to make a puppet. And with the help of special effects and high-speed cameras, they used this puppet to make the Rancor come to life. And Phil Tippett was the puppeteer and basically became the Rancor that we all know and love. So that's why you can't just have one or the other. These are two completely different prop replicas, and both have significant history and importance to fandom, right? To the Star Wars fandom. So as you can see here, the puppet size on the right is the exact same size because Regal Robot was able to digitally scan the puppet that sits in the Lucasfilm archives and recreate a prop replica from it. Now, Regal Robot only did 83 of these, and it came with Phil Tippett's signature, and these have been sold out for a while now, so you can't get them anymore. But I think it's very important to differentiate the two because the maquette is going to be available on November 14th, 2023. So although it's not the same as the full-size puppet, it is equally as important and has, you know, just as much Star Wars history than the full-size puppet. And I would actually argue that the maquette has more importance because not only was it the kind of first iteration of the Rancor, but like I said, it ended up being the reference that Ralph McQuarrie used for his, you know, famous artwork that we all grew up on. Now, both of these are beautiful, and Regal Robot did an amazing job at both of these. The paint jobs are just immaculate. But there are some differences in the paint, like the maquette has some purples in it and the larger puppet just looks more real, but both of them look amazing. Now, this shot, you know, get your minds out of the gutter. It was just the way I could pose them, but here you could really see the size difference between the maquette and the full-size puppet. Now, the Rancor maquette is probably about 11 inches. That's including the base. So it's pretty small, right? It's a small maquette. And if I had to guess, it's probably about half scale from the full-size puppet. And what's interesting is that the maquette is actually very close to the Kenner Rancor toy size. And yeah, next to obviously this full-size puppet, it looks tiny, right? So I think the maquette is definitely something that would go great just by itself if you had that, or if you already own the bigger Rancor as kind of like a companion piece like you see here. That way you can have a complete set of kind of Rancor history. And the maquette's going to be available on regalrobot.com on November 14th, 2023 at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be two versions. There's going to be a Legacy Edition, which is going to come with that frame that you see there with Phil Tippett's autograph and a hand-sketched drawing made by Phil Tippett himself. And there's also going to be a Signature Edition, and the Signature Edition is going to retail for $12.99. The Legacy Edition is $16.99, but whichever one you choose, this is a must for any collection. But I hope you guys like this review, comparison, and little history lesson. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and look out for the next one. Thanks, guys.